10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Shadow Demon.
Dire team pick.
Game number 3 is upon us here in this best of 3 series between Team Effect and Team Spirit. The winner will move on in the upper bracket, the lower will drop down. Or the loser will drop down to the lower bracket, I should say. And, well, at the very least, no one will go home today. But well, no one will play Lone Duo this game either, as that's been banned out in the first phase. We are seeing again a Centaur Warrior though for Team Spirits, and Shadow Demon Nyx Assassin opener for Team Effect.
Both teams seeming to value the Centaur extremely highly.
10 seconds remaining.
And this is
5
time we
seconds
see either the Shadow Demon or the
remaining.
Nyx.
So, what's a Shadow Demon? Are they already looking towards some sort of illusion-based play?
I think these teams just really like Shadow Demon because it enables a lot more clunky position force. Like you can have a Nyx support just because you've got the setup. Same thing with Lesh, Lina, Horde. It's just
Reserve time.
always a useful hero, I think, and it also has the added benefit of teams most likely ban Luna, maybe another hero like Morphing against you.
Ten seconds remaining.
So, it's actually a hero that we,
Remaining.
here's a spot that is, one of these, as you said, is super being enabled by the Shadow Demon and cannot really work as well alone.
Radiant team
Just because
ban.
Light Strike Array, which is a pretty good stun if you can land it, and the disruption is what makes it reliable. Yeah. Might see that here, the Nyx Assassin and offlane role.
Radiant team
Who knows?
ban.
Ben's coming out, Chen.
More
Coco.
likely enough, right?
Yeah.
Dire team pick.
And for Nyx is something you generally do against heroes like Tinker as a last resort.
Oh yeah.
Or OD, Storm. I think Tinker's like the main culprit of pole position Nyx.
10 seconds remaining.
It's just so hard to get the hero levels, farm, and
5
get that
seconds
early.
remaining.
And so you need to make up for that by
Reserve time.
having him hard counter one of your opponents, I guess. Yeah. For now, effect. Still looking at the rest of the course. Together with Shaldine, obviously it opens up a lot of other heroes, not just Luna that's been banned out. Might see something like a Terrorblade make an appearance. One of these carries that, once he is ramped up, once he gets into beast mode in late game, is very, very hard to stop. But for now,
Terrorblade's so good in this meta game at the moment. It's like, I think he's kind of broken, like, because like you see heroes like Luna and just so good against them. The main heroes that destroy the hero are things like OD, Zeus, high magic burst heroes, Selena, and those heroes don't get played much.
Either that or you need an Elder Titan in your lineup to just get rid of all this armor that he starts stacking up. For minute 1, really. I mean, it's not
Even then, though, like, even if he has no armor, he still has like way more damage than any other hero at most stages of the game. If Lifestealer's on top of you and you have 0 armor, but you have 2 Shadow Demon illusions and 2 normal illusions with meta up, I'm pretty sure Lifestealer dies first. Even without the Shadow Demon illusions, I think it's still close. And then there's also Sunder, if you just let him hit you a few times. So I think Terrorblade is a really nice hero, but it is quite punishable in lanes and stuff, so it's understandable that it might not be a go-to.
I think a hero that works quite well against him is Disruptor, actually. Because he's one that's... yeah, that is actually no big surprise now.
I actually expected Spirit to maybe get the hero.
Yeah.
If you have Centaur, Ogre, and Rubik in your lane as a Terrorblade, what the hell do you do? You Metamorphosis and farm 1 wave under the tower, and then you go Illusion Jungle, I think is the answer to that question. Spirit's ports are really, really strong early game, and they both enable the Centaur, which is a huge amount of burst damage early that Terrorblade does not like.
5 seconds.
And if they find out this Nyx is an offlane hero, you know, it can trade CS and stuff, but there's very few heroes that it actually bullies out of lane, so you can have a slightly greedier hero down the safe lane as well.
Even with that, heroes like Weaver or something is still in the pool. They can throw it down there as well. Most lanes are just absolutely fine without the supports being there babysitting him, so... yeah.
I actually like the Weaver idea a lot, but I have a feeling Team Spirit might not go with the both supports top lane. They might just put the Ogre up there and twice that way. Try and get as much pressure as we can through the 2 heroes. The Ogre can move between the mid lane and the top lane pretty easily, just throw ignites, bloodlusts for the sniper.
Radiant team.
We'll find out now. They banned the Sand King, so I guess an indication that... oh wow! I have not seen that hero in a while, but looking at this lineup...
pretty good.
Yeah, don't have a lot of good ways to actually deal with that. Guess Nyx Assassin can maybe catch Real Broodmother out later down the line and just set up for something for Sunstrike. But in lane, right now they have nothing to throw at her.
5 seconds remaining.
I think they need...
Reserve time.
What's this?
Arxia, Axe, one of those, well, maybe even a Bristle, but like I think one of those heroes that can deal against a Brood. But the thing is, they don't. Brood could also be a mid lane hero.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
This could be like a Baby Knight style mid Brood, one position sniper, etc. Yeah,
it goes to all 3 lanes.
I'm really curious now. Yeah. In fact, I guess you can probably tell that they've been caught off guard a little bit by that. Don't think Azig expected.
Oh yeah, like no one broods you anymore. People forgot this hero exists. Like yesterday, I was queuing, and I saw this as my daily hero. And I'm like, what the fuck? This hero still exists?
They go for the axe. Alright, so it's a lane counter, but as I said, if you throw the Broodmother mid, kind of have to throw the axe against her no matter where she goes. It leaves you Invoke on
I
one of the
think you
side
can.
lanes, which is not
I
ideal.
think you have to go Invoker mid regardless
Yeah,
of what
exactly.
happens. And then you can swap the lanes, but yeah, I think Team Spirit have just thrown a complete wrench into this draft, and the other 4 heroes they have are super solid, and the Brood's just going to give them like a lot of chaotic early game engagements, I think, or lanes, and it's going to put them ahead if it works, and then I think they can snowball to a pretty quick QEON.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
If they do happen to
remaining.
match the axe, then depending who
5
knows the
seconds
matchup better, it goes both
remaining.
ways. Brood can very easily beat axe if you don't know what you're doing.
We'll find out soon. Game number 3 looks to be an interesting one with this last pick from Team Spirit. Definitely have a bit of a gripe up against Effect since they beat them 2-0 in the other times they matched up recently. So getting a win here would be quite nice for them, I would imagine. Not sure how much stock they put into rivalries and whatnot. These friendly competitions.
I mean, it's probably less about rivalries and more about just wanting to win, you know?
Yep. So this competitive spirit in the CIS region. I mean, that's a region where there's actually a lot of good talent just running about. Maybe not just in that tops level, but in that level below as well, where other regions start to get sparse. But yeah.
I mean, CIS is stacked. The biggest problem is the same thing America has, where
30 seconds to
you have
battle.
a lot of potentially amazing players, but you don't have the PD, Puppy, Fly kind of character to hold the team together and force them to collaborate. There's a lot of egos in regions.
Oh yeah.
You need someone who you can like respect as a captain to basically cull your ego. Otherwise, it's like this don't work that well. Which is why so many of the quote-unquote all-star teams haven't worked, because there's so many big egos, and it's harder to make things work.
Yep. The story of this region for a long time, but still produce some good Dota regardless. And in this
I
game,
love watching Russian Dota, it's hilarious.
In this game we're gonna have that offlane Broodmother, mid lane Sniper, so a little bit more standard I suppose, and that one position Centaur Warrunner, and like the A style.
Already.
Yeah. Actually fun. Shadow Demon on the side. All that they can do only with the nets on Broodmother, follow-up stun there, so they're right-clicking quite a bit, but they do not actually have sentries that they're ready to work with. And meanwhile, Invoker dies. Alright. Alright.
This is the glory of having these two as laners. Like, supports can be elsewhere. The Invokers are very punishable heroes, so...
Especially for someone like an Ogre, right? I know some people...
Look at them so badly. Like, they're gonna try. Invokers.
Is Yo lift up one, Sunstrike onto Iceberg, actually a little bit lower, but he's still gonna try and range. Now has another shrapnel to work away at Roger. He will have another stun, but not before he dies, so it did work out badly for Team Effect.
It's a nice idea, but in practicality it's a lot harder to pull off.
Okay, again. Iceberg, gotta be careful though. Oh, Sunstrike, this one will not connect. Barely able to sidestep it. He's drafting to save him, and Ninja still has to walk through the shrapnel. FMG with a couple of extra strikes. Another shrapnel. Didn't you finish him off? It's really not, yeah. Kind of split the focus a bit with Yol having to deal with our Zeke, so both of them will be able to shrine up themselves. A lot of action already here in this middle lane, and yeah. I mean, my point I wanted to make about Ogre, he's... I know a couple of people that could rant on and on about how good Ogre is the first 1 or 2 minutes, just walking at you in the middle lane. Not giving a shit.
Yes, hello, I am one of those people.
Yeah. Didn't want to call you out.
I mean, I think any person who deals with this is able to rant about it. So 99% of the community had a decent rating.
Disruption Sunstrike follow up with the Impale. They do catch you all. Slightly out of position there. They definitely need something like that to like recover from the way this early game is already.
And they need a lot of things to happen with these two heroes. As I was saying earlier, 4th position mix is far from optimal. You really have to understand how to get the most out of the support line with the hero work. And I think Effects coming out of the lane's a lot better than you'd expect. Sure, the first few things went against them. But Bruce does not want to be in the safe lane at all. Like, it's so much more efficient to be able to clear this camp, this camp, this camp, and then cut this wave. Whereas now...
Look at Shotler, actually. You'll actually kill Yol. He gets another spin. There it is. He will die to the tower.
Yeah, so much. I mean, he wasn't exactly in a good position, so he might took a kill, but Spirit will take that trade any day. Fortunately, Zentar, he doesn't get anything for his death.
Speaking of our position, it was also not exactly in a good one.
Yeah, I actually think Brood in the safe lane's a lot harder to pull off. I suppose you can make this transition though, and it works just as well, but you actually get Ancient. I mean, I'm no Brood expert, but I guess it could work. It's more natural to be able to pressure their safe lane.
Yeah.
So I do actually think this tower's worth more now on the bottom lane. It actually protects more camps, and if you TP to a shrine, it's a very common ward spot, so...
I don't know, at the same time, part of the deal is also to put on pressure on not just on the safe lane, but also the safe lane. I guess Team Switch still doing that with Yol and BZ by just killing him, so this game's maybe not that big of a deal, but it's one of the big parts of what makes Brood Lovers so good, is the ability to go to that lane and absolutely dominate it in the right matchups, and consequently keep the other safe lane away from farm. Should be a dead Yol.
He's getting caught out quite a bit actually. Moving away from his team into no vision, where the supports are just catching him out.
As soon as you see him,
remind me like who he's standing in for. I can't remember their other support player. It isn't the opposite, it is a standard. No, the Spirit. Remember their other support. That's it, yeah. I completely went out of my mind.
Yeah.
But it doesn't impact them too much. Look, I do think they have the better draft here.
Smoking up, Yol splitting away a little bit again. Together with BZZ, so the offlaner. Maybe not the most common heroes to smoke up, but the idea is still the same. FG coming in from the other side to look for Alpha Ninja. And he's caught unawares. 4 heroes all of a sudden appearing in the mid lane. Yeah, nothing can be done about that.
Well, that is just such a smart move as well.
But, he can was caught by our Zeke, but he's still able to scuttle away across the trees.
And they lose their mid tower to a really, really smart smoke.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Also defend top, so Sidoi isn't getting too much.
Out. But Effects managing to keep the Terrorblade and Axe in decent reach farm-wise, but the Invoker is suffering a lot, as you kind of expect.
Things with the Axe, a lot of the CS, it's a bit inflated because of the Spider links, so it's actually a similar network to the Terrorblade, which is still pretty damn good, but what's happening up here? Yeah, Assassin will still not dying after it's by Carapace, so always good. Yeah, just make sure that the Assassinate cannot be dodged by Carapace, right?
Yeah. And I think the biggest problem Effect's going to run into is, like, Axe in this match is generally always good Vanguard, and then you need to find a way to get to your lane. And getting kills like this is definitely going to help. Fortunately, I can see kind of a fail safe, but they need the Axe and the Nyx to make a lot of things happen this game to make up for this Invoker who's getting trapped.
Yeah.
It's not his fault at all. Like, Sniper is not a good matchup here in the first place, and then there's an Ogre. Like, what the hell? Up there.
Yeah, what the hell is the right word, Zeke? I guess he had to walk
He was
this
being
way.
chased by spiders.
Yeah, this is all webbed up. So he couldn't actually escape through that, or the spiders would have killed him. So instead, at least he forced out the stampede, I guess. This is like, feels really bad.
Yep.
So it's like the Techies effect, where even if you kill the hero, even if he's somewhere else entirely, he can still kill you with like other shit. In this case, it's just the spiderlings and Phobos that can control directly.
They're actually trying to set up on this Axe, but I don't think he's a killable hero.
Just trying to force out the call before they.
Maybe this DD actually.
It is. That's the call. So maybe now they can. Right click him down, assassinate, yeah, they brought enough damage through, and despite Carapace and the stun from Roger, it's not coming enough. Sunstroke will connect, not enough damage to kill Iceberg. So yeah, she get it done.
They're making as good a trade as they can, where Invoker just play Terrorblade beelines to the mid lane, try and trade towers, and with Metamorph and Alacrity they're going to be able to do that. So it actually doesn't end up too badly for them, because this tower is a lot more valuable, and the Axe, he made a lot of space, he didn't lose much money, he just bought his Vanguard.
Just come back to the spells being thrown out, left and right. So the big thing is still this Axe though, right? I mean, got his Vanguard, but he really needs to have a blink before he can help out the Invoker, and they also need to create more space for Terrorblade. He's sitting a decent amount of net worth, but he also needs really a lot to be what they need him to be this game. Especially with the Invoker being, like, once again, just like last game, very far behind on the minus.
It's not just for the gold though, it's just for the levels. Like, it's level 7 at 10 minutes. It's not where you want your mid laner to be. The other 3 cores on Spirit are all... they're just ticking along nicely.
I'm gonna go on him again.
Happy with how the game's going. If they get this kill, it's just depressing at this point for him. His team's nowhere near to help him. The Nyx is... I think he got... maybe he didn't They knew where he was moving from, so they knew they could make that play.
Yep.
And now because he's dead, the Nyx doesn't actually have kill potential on the river.
They have kill potential on the Iceberg. Just caught out apart from the rest of his team, being right-click away a little bit, but not too much follow-up actually in terms of control or real damage. Still chasing him down thanks to the slow and from Charge Low. Enables Roger to get close enough for a stun.
Do much more there, so. They are at least managing to get some good kills. But the real problem for them hasn't exactly started yet. Brood only gets more and more annoying. He has an Orchid already, so... anyone except Axe that steps onto this lane without help is in a lot of trouble.
Alpha Ninja was angling there, but he was never gonna get anything done. Dust from our Zeke. Let's see if they can find anything out. Meanwhile, alright, Roger and dive. Just tear through the Ogre. Rest of Spirit a bit indecisive here right now as to how they want to engage this online. Ultimately, they decide not to at all.
Their engagement relies a lot on the Stampede at the moment. Centaur did the same thing as Axe, but he hasn't quite got his wings yet because he spent a bit more money with treads, the one that's better on with Axe. Twinkles are a lot cheaper than treads.
Yeah.
And they'll probably get their blink around the same time, and if they do, then it can be kind of game defining few minutes of who jumps first and who gets the better run of their item.
Well, Phobos just... he's essentially claimed as part of real estate. As you said, it's only the Axe really that can stick around here. And I guess the Invis Nix. And it's also pretty good because it gives you a straight path to the oh god, that was a loud noise here. With the spike cameras and so many units, but ultimately doesn't end up mattering. They do catch him out. Now Zeke, well, a little bit too far forward. That Stampede will be enough. Sunstrike will not be hitting. You're also in the middle of that, but now it's Poker just caught outside the base. Chargelo gets a call off the tube. Spiders is still doing their magic. Gets a dunk off and one of the supports. For now, just the actual heroes. Close range assassinate. Why not? Extra nukes better than right clicks here up against the Axe in case you get unlucky with Spin Spirit. And just keep continuing to fight around this Broodmother and just get a lot of value out of it.
Well. The last thing you want to do is fight on the side of the map where Brood can't interact, especially as she's playing so far off now. She's always farming the pre-camps by the side shop, she's taking one of the two waves. And Nyx at least might find a courier here, so some small correlations. I don't think the network graph really tells the story yet. Sure, the Invoker's suffering like a lot, this is a bit of a problem, but more the Team Spirit's heroes just they do so much more with their network. Terrorblade can be a monster at this point, or he can just be like not relevant enough, and it's largely based on how strong his team is. He doesn't have like a really strong frontline hero like Centaur. Axe is okay at it, I think, but doesn't seem to have as much press and fight as Centaur does these days. Damage from Centaur is just way more relevant. Axe needs to get a lot done in his core. He's like their only lockdown, other than an Nyx stun. I don't think Invoker's joining the fight.
G, most of an Endless Ruins scouting out ahead. Did see Axe a moment ago. Yeah. Won't get too close to the front line. Top lane now being
It can be good for effect though, like they're fighting away from that route.
Maybe find your blink call, Roger to follow up some extra bit of damage, nice little double stun here, also catching Centaur on the back, and it's an easy dunk and probably send Team Spirit away, but in fact have other plans. It's just 5 minutes trying to catch Iceberg, forcing out another Stampede defensively this time around. So this tier 1 will also fall in return, but Broodmother down bottom with a giant army Spiderlings. Be able to put the hurt on this tier 2. The rest of Team Spirit, as you said, looking forward to one in the middle lane. Chargelo gets a call off though. Even with all these Spiderlings, actually, Chargelo has less CS since it way.
Terrorblade's a monster armor. Yeah. He's always really good at the illusion-based heroes. He always seems to get worth off.
Oh, Chargelo with the fingers there, blinks away as BZ tries to get the blink snap up. They got what they came for here. They should be able to finish off the tower. Zeke, better think twice about that too. Glyph force out, okay. Is my mouse not quick enough? They do catch Iceberg. Phobos will be trading the other mid laner in return, and now Roger TPing out on the back to spike Carpers. Level 4, so it lasts long enough. Can't put the damage through. And Chargelo, another nice little call. Fight's not over yet here. Another Orchid and Shadow Demon once again caught in the wrong place. This is Assassin Broodmother, and they will be able to find a Terrorblade here. No Thunder as he gets controlled up. Oh man.
And this is kind of what I was fearing for effect. Team Spirit, they do all of that while their sniper gets kicked off.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier for them to play the game at this point. I know people say that a lot, but it's like it's hard to describe exactly what's happening without lecturing, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's basically just them having way more run at the map. And their heroes are about to just get stronger again.
Yep.
Centaur's going to finish his Crimson. He actually has it in his stash. Terrorblade about half as effective. And once their Brood gets PKB, like, what are they doing to stop him? Axe, that's it. Maybe a Purge.
Yeah.
A Shadow Demon can't really do much this game, that's the problem.
At least Roger's making stuff happen. He blocked the smoke and then also wasted the dust essentially, and still gonna find initiation on the FG, but that might have been a mistake. Defensive disruption, but yeah. It's Roger down, Zeke will also fall, no one else making their way here to try and help out. In fact, it seems like they're disconnected a little bit from each other. Yep.
Cedo's game plan is, I need to hit creeps, you guys need to make space. Alpha Ninja's game plan is, I need to hit creeps, you guys need to make space. The Axe is like, okay guys, I kind of need to be wherever the Brood is, otherwise we're going to lose towers. And the Shadow Demon is kind of waddling around, doesn't really have a place in the game. They're trying to contest Roche now, so if the fight goes well, they could turn the game a bit. Spirit making a smart call here and just waiting to see the situation now. They have the superior fighting lineup right now.
Yeah.
Need to not get caught unaware by like a 2-3 hero call.
Yeah, it's a good 3 call, and Snow is actually at a point where if you let him, he can do a ridiculous amount of damage. Does have the Shadow Demon illusions potentially, he has Meta Style and Dragonlance, so decent amount of stats, multipliability, and a lot of damage coming up from illusions subsequently as well. So. Now a bit of a smoke, just waiting for someone to show their face. Maybe with Chacho's Blink is being cancelled constantly, but a single Vitalik Blink stun from BC is annoying. Channels it up, disruption on the main view, and a stun there from the Nyx. There's gonna be another one. Okay, Iceberg on the side gets brought down, so Doi is still fighting against something. Sunders his teammate is still alive. Super trade so far, so the rest of the trying to get the hell out. DK forward, and he'll find Alpha Ninja, nuke him down as front lines. So 2 offlaners, just make a death pact. So Doi, last man standing here all of a sudden. In fact, he's pretty damn scary in FNG. Almost being bashed down by his own illusion, but the rest of his team gets him enough control. He can heal up on the back of the urn and come back to help out with the actual kill. On the 1 position from Team Effect, and this is how Team Spirit won the team fight. And Effect is really sad.
And it could have gone worse for them, they at least got trades for everything, yep. But the net result is still awful for them. Like, I'm surprised they didn't just like beeline the Roche with the Brood who was spawning, but they have next round of items now that are going to allow them to take fights a lot easier, where Brood has Blink and a BKB now. Joel on the Rubik has a Blink. He still has the Impale stolen, which is probably the best spell for him to steal. There's a Stalk. Yep. Guarantees you so much lockdown in fights, and now it's so much easier to pull it off.
He's a pretty happy Rubik now, that's what I'm sure.
Yeah. And then they've got the gems still from FNG, so map control's pretty easy for them. Now Effect just have to find some way to make a play while Cedoy keeps farming. Yeah. Invoker actually had a lot of impact last fight because he's managed to get his levels and he's sacrificed his boss, so the other spells are actually going to be able to do something. Yeah. But he still needs time. A lot of time.
That's level 14, halfway to the axe. It's only a matter of time until they stop playing games and start going high ground. Or like pressuring all the lanes so much with the Boon on 2 and the rest on 1. That Effect is going to be locked in their base, essentially. It kind of reminds me of game number 1, which of course it's turned around.
Yeah, there's one thing Terrorblade and Invoker do pretty well, they're able to get outside of their base through other means. Invoker's going to have a much harder time doing this game, but at least Terrorblade can secure him some farm outside the base.
Radiant's bottom tower
Man,
is
you've
under
been pushing by
attack.
creeps here, no response to Team Spirits,
I
so...
think they should take the trade actually. I think that's what they're doing. Like Tito is running back down. He even had his TP in, so he's probably looking trade. It's actually so favourable for them. Like there's no way they should be able to get anything out of this kind of window where Team Spirit are a lot stronger.
Is under attack.
If they can't push up to the high ground and everybody's hitting your racks, I know who I'd rather be.
I mean, Sniper might have the better range. Oh, PNC gets a stun off. Now a couple extra TPs come through, but American Pike ready. Stampede to try and catch up against Doi. Well, can you get the Thunder off? This question, can they control him enough? Yes, they can. Extra nuke, pretty damn strong. And meanwhile, mid can't in fact get anything else off of this. Ah, man. Assassin has another blink, but just scattered well enough.
Well, they might find the Rubik here, but that's a pretty small kill, and it could result in
Yep. Sunsphere comes through, Spike Carapace is right in time, but now Blink's right to loving arms of Phobos.
poor guy.
That's another stun on the Carapace available, and Decompose actually, yeah. Still in the fight, still getting out. Shachi now with a blink on two, up and ninja to the side. Left to his belts to work with her, unfortunately. Now Decompose with a big EV, doesn't recap out that anyway. Assassinated and Shrapnels from the side, Iceberg just blinking away at the rest of them. The guard is good, but not good enough. His effects scatter through all the winds. Only lose Invoker, but that's a very important kill. Never mind, maybe they also lose our Zeke. Assassination, forced up into the shrine, not enough to save him. Nice attempt, but Team Spirit still prove that they're the ones with hands on a trigger finger. They have the network to throw into these fights and maybe take a little bit less optimal engagement. Oh, Yol, what are you doing here? Sets up for a stun onto Roger. Force down back. Assassination comes through the shrine this time around. Enough to give Roger the edge. A bold attempt.
I mean, they can though, like, they're not scared. That's the luxury they have. They've always got the stuff here, it's their idea.
Now silence up on an assassin this time. We should end up falling here. They did get the call from Sniper at the front line, so Chachlo looking for the dark, doesn't quite get it. He just will still fall to the deafening blast. Chachlo with his own life might have to fight back here. This fight continues and it does right now, which will send Team Spirit probably back home. So they hold, but at a high cost.
They'll be happy with that. Like, they expend their Aegis, which was running out in about a minute anyway. Please force a buyback, get a kill. I would have liked to get the Tifri as well, but you know.
Can't have it all.
The cards you're dealt.
And with the Crimson Guard also affecting the buildings, it actually gets much harder. It does, apparently. Saw that effect on it earlier. I didn't really have that in mind before, but it's actually really useful up against students like the Sniper who just blink away at it.
Never knew that. Interesting. I've never bought this item in my entire game career, so... actually, no, sorry, I bought it in Arkham event when I played Axe once. So yeah, I think that's about the only time I've ever bought the item, so my bad. That's something I really should have known.
Yep.
That's cool. I didn't know it.
It says in the description, granted by allied heroes and buildings. So the more you know.
Yeah, like my tweet the other day. You can read tooltip. Foxcamp.
Wow. Did you know you can press Alt if you have multiple tips? When you hover over a spell and you press Alt?
Yeah, I knew that.
You see the actual
like,
damage values as well. The spell app is also pretty cool.
But the thing is, right, when you've played Dota for over 10 years now, I do not read a tooltip description. I read the alt highlight thing if necessary. I might like have a few patch note blips, but you don't read a tooltip.
Super good.
Just kind of practice it and figure out what it does. That's how Dota players go about these things.
Oh look, that assisting. Finishing him off. That wouldn't really matter because he was triggered by the Spike Carapace before anyway. But yes, that was Roger trying to go for his third or so career snipe this game. This time though he gets caught off guard.
Gotta do shit like that. he needs to make a lot of space and get a lot of information for his team, which he succeeded in doing. And they're making a bit of use out of it now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're drawing Team Spirit onto the side of the map where effects don't lose anything from them being here. They're away from all the webs. And now they can go back and maybe clear out their own side of the map a bit.
So these small number spiralings up top.
Sentries. Yeah, they need some money and some sentries and like clear out their own side of the map a bit. And then that makes this move even more valuable.
Did I have a gem the other day?
Team Spirit have a gem, but effects didn't.
They put it over, yeah. Charger just doing axe things still. Also not a nice thing, you can just make illusions. And they also have to spin, so... It's a much safer way to actually try and deal with some of these creepers coming through.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of synergy between the heroes. Why Shadow Demon's just always useful one way or another, you know, there's so many heroes that work with him. Fortunately, him himself is pretty dumpster tier this game. He's just a ward buyer, and then his disruption does the majority of the work.
Yeah.
The most use he's going to get in a fight is if he can purge the Brood BKB. But that's not easy to do when you don't necessarily have the vision, and he might also be the hero they go on first.
Yeah.
Depends on where they take the fight.
It's just one of these games where like a 6th position support, and you try to max do the most with the least. Essentially, that's kind of the name of the game for supports. In the best cases, but
yeah, it's mostly when you're losing though.
Yeah.
The Invoker's managed to catch up a bit, but that's the nature of these heroes. Like, you give them space, they will catch up, but the other team doesn't punish you. It's not them that really suffer, it's your other heroes that, like the Shadow Demon who can't farm, can't do anything. He's just sat behind his cores. He's not even using their illusions to push out waves to get money, and if he is, he's spending it on sentries.
Yeah.
I don't think they want a gem right now. It might be a bit too volatile if they lose it. They probably want the gem around a point where Roche is a option, and then they just run with it if they can even afford one. Depends how they prioritize it.
Roger.
They're definitely doing a good job of like at least keeping the income more 50-50. But they have as much control than that as they used to. Mostly because this hero is like making so much space. He's doing a pile die.
You need to get set an extra hotkey for my chat wheel, so I can just like show on stream space created and stuff like that.
You don't have that.
I have. It's like a double thing. I have my chat wheel on the Y for in game, but it's also a net worth key for the stats on the left side. In spectator mode.
I have mine on my mouse button, so I can just. That's so much easier.
Just flick right now, yeah.
Yeah, it's so important when you're playing to spam well played, well played, well played, well played, well played. I mean, who needs anything?
Are you one of those guys? And VCC with nice little double stun here. They will finish up. Shadow Demon first, leaves the Zoe for later. Free kill, and then they get out again. Meanwhile, Iceberg's just blinking away. I believe they already used the Crimson Guard, yeah, so it's this time around it's not helping to defend this tier 3. This goes down, now shrines are open up. Whether or not they actually want to continue right here, right now.
I would rather play it safe now. Shrines are so much more accessible, and they give you...
Roger. Okay, Shash will follow up, they look for Iceberg here, not quite enough to bring it down, and now BCC as the anchor in the front line, just keeping the rest of them back from finishing the job. Instead to punch Shash on Roger, Yol will take a spill, but they're gonna be happy with that.
It was a nice idea to try and catch them while they're retreating, but execution just wasn't quite there, and they get pretty punished.
Just need a little bit more, to be fair, but still, Iceberg tanking up at this point. But yeah, it's the safest thing to do. Roshan's gonna respond soon, and Might want to get rid of this shrine. But okay, the big question that I have is Terrorblade factor. He's the one who's getting most of the farm. Is there points in this game where Team Spirit are gonna run into problems reliably fighting against him?
I think when he picks up the daddy, he's kind of already there. But as I was saying earlier, it's like he needs his team to enable him a bit. So him having this amount of net worth is really, really good on his part. But if focus spells miss or Axe botches his counter jump, then Terrorblade's not going to look as effective. He's kind of making of his own team here.
Leaving MP combo used. Roger, working his way out. He's still holding on to gem though, so it's not easy for him to actually go through in with it in this, but of course that's what the Blink Dagger's for. Meanwhile, top lane's also being pushed in by the Spiderlings.
Bottom's actually getting to their axe though, so he might decide to shrine and go this way.
Yeah, just standard play to maintain map control. It's kind of like Dota.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't realise that as well. Yeah. They'll gladly lose their tier 3 finish for this.
Who's actually going to die? It's a huge creep up down here.
They have a glyph and the creeps are gonna spawn, so they should hold it.
Still catapult, dude. Look at the catapult.
I know. I'm watching it, but everything else is irrelevant right
Absolutely.
now.
Yep. 32. 3. And...
That's a small misplay on their end, I think, but... The thing is that, not exactly easy for Effect to take shrines. The only time I think they're going to feel safe taking a shrine is if Terrorblade pokes them with illusions and Forge Spirits from Invoker. Or if their base is getting pushed in while Terrorblade's like, you know what dude, I want this shrine.
Oh, mistakes were made. He's coming through. He's pretty tanky, but there's a lot of heroes around him. No Sun as silence and the help TPing in. Well, just keeps him company in death, I suppose. And yeah, it's... If you get to the point where you say at least he has buyback, it's normally a sign that the game's not going well for his team.
Oh no, the game's not going well, that's all, but they haven't lost the game yet. If he could have got the blink though, it would have given them like a much nicer way for him to fight. Now he's probably going to be forced to buy back and needs that. Instead of Axe isn't the biggest deal for their team, so they could opt to save the buyback and lose the Axe.
Not even losing it just yet here with the backdoor region, yeah, it's taken quite a while. They switch off the range now. There's not going to be a creep hit coming anytime soon, yeah, Roger. Just keeps taking care of those. But they actually have enough damage here from the Spiderlings and the Snipe actually coming into the zone with that MKB.
They ain't gonna get it.
Yeah. But they need to have some space to actually commit to it. And
well,
think better of it.
Yeah, the one glyph pretty killed it all the way up.
Okay, now bottom lane is once again pushing in with some extra range creeps. Top lane is also pushing in, and Team Spirit.
Yeah, they're getting tunneled into... They're like tunnel vision.
It's all just free goals. It's eventually going to come into effect. Especially if they cannot actually make this push work.
Just look at how much Sniper loses from one reflection. Wait, Terrorblade's a monster right now.
TPing back now.
Such a good hold for them. So if they happen to find someone, then it's even better. And that's a pretty good kill to find.
There's no Ogre here, and it's Aegis and Iceberg still, but don't have the full lineup to try and help them, but gonna go for it anyway. Beats Z with nicely double stomp, and if you find Shato, defensive block keeps them alive temporarily. Iceberg gets to the session, attempts to through. Phobos dies for the first time in this game, it feels like, after getting it beyond godlike speed. Beats Z with another stun, and that should be enough for Sudoi. And it is at 4-star, not saving him, and the Thunder could also not come out. Do end up making it work extremely well.
It's such a nice idea, but
they're not done yet. They want full 5. They will probably going to get it here now, unless they mess up. And
they're gonna get punished.
4-star 5x, but losing 2 on heroes for that? Not worth.
No bueno for that play.
Look at this, that's like more than 1,000 goals from Yol and BZZ. In the fight tree,
yeah. Now they get the Aegis, and Shadow Demons come to say hello. It's gonna. Yeah.
What is Iceberg here?
Because he was trying to hit the rats while his team was diving up here, and then he's like, oh shit, I can't hit the rats, so I'll run this way, and Roger was like, hi dude, how are you?
God.
Yeah.
This really starting to remind me of game number 1 now. Because we had the same situation. Team Spirit, they were just boxing Effect inside the base. And then Effect gets a couple bones thrown their way, and things start to turn around. And they have they have one of the heroes that late game goes stronger. He's going to get 2, in fact, here with Stoy and after NJ.
Shadow Demon gets stronger as the game goes on. Invoker, Terrorblade, Axe and Nyx are like always relevant after they get their first run of items. If Nyx ever manages to get an Axe, then yeah, have fun with that, but I don't think he's ever got that in mind. Yours is a much cheaper, better option for what you want.
Just like this, the loser siege commence.
At least it's fairly easy for them to kill the illusion. That's one thing Senpai does a really good job of.
If you focus on the melee racks, so well, that damage is permanent.
But it's still like them putting a foothold in the game now, as opposed to just waiting for mistakes, capitalizing. They're actually dictating some pace now, which gives them a lot more chance to make plays. Because if you're just purely reactive, you have to be so far ahead in terms of thinking. If you actually make a play, then it's kind of easy to say, well, I'm going to push this lane, this guy's going to TP, and then we're going to gangbang him.
Yeah.
So, and they do have a gem as well now, which I believe is freshly picked up. So the map's going to be pretty dark for both teams now. There's gems on both sides. There's plenty of ways to check high ground vision with Vitling Web, Shadow Poison. The no wards should go untouched. And then they might even smoke under this one, let's say, for Shadow's Wave. Like that's what they're going for. Oh, what? They even pinged the ward. I think it's just waiting for it.
Yeah, also found Broodmother on your side. He missed the dunk, but Phobos will still take out to the Demonic Purge. Also get Augmenter, that's another gem actually. If they managed to finish him off, he's quite tanky, but plenty of control, no help coming. Oh man.
That is a pro and a half, like... They were not on the same page at all there. And whatever this idea was, just like smoke here, they didn't prepare for it very well, and they kind of way too long.
Yep.
And in the process, they lose their most important hero in the Brood.
So they still have a sniper who's fairly farmed. They're missing 2 heroes. There's only so much you can do. Yeah.
He can't do enough on his own. He doesn't have a BKB, he doesn't have a lot of like damage. He has a good amount over a sustained period, but if he ever gets jumped, he doesn't have defensive support, he doesn't have the same kind of utility Terrorblade does. So, games like them pretty strong now, as long as Beck don't make the same mistakes. Be in a good spot. Like he can even sunder himself back up to full health if he really wants. Use your Shadow Demon Tranquil Boots or something for him.
That's what Arthur gets reduced to. Just
help your carry. That's all you're there for as a support. You know, any way you can help your carry, you help them. But he actually has money now. He's been on like 1k net worth for the entirety of the game, and then suddenly they win 2 free team fights, and he nearly has
Hey, he has a blink
half
in
of
his
a Lotus
inventory.
Orb on top of his blink. And he's level 18, so he's actually getting levels. I'm not sure that's a good thing until you actually get the talent, but
Well, it's 2 levels off the respawn time, I guess.
the chain feed.
Exactly. Or would you go for the magic resistance here? Don't think it makes much of a difference.
Magic resistance talents are pretty garbo on heroes that have like less than 2.5k health, I think.
Yeah.
Like the CM talent, the damage on magic resistance, whoever came up with that shit is like, that's not a choice, you know? That's like take or death, you know? It's not really a choice.
Yeah.
There's one clear option there.
Well, it depends on the cake, I suppose.
I mean, unless it's a poison cake, I'd rather eat that than die.
Yeah, or if you're allergic to something in the cake, you'll die as well.
Yeah, but what if the allergy's not enough to kill you? And it's just like irritable. I don't know, dude. Like, I'd always take the cake.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of thinking involved in this line of discussion.
You're just creating too many unfeasible options. You're not taking the base points.
I mean, being allergic to something is not unfeasible. And
Yes,
people
but
have died
you don't
probably.
know that the cake's gonna have that. You don't
Yeah.
know that it's not a stipulation.
But you don't know that it
the
doesn't.
cake- No, that is true. That is true.
Yeah, you just said cake. You didn't,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
So,
didn't define
anything-
what kind of cake. That could also mean you get to define what kind of cake you get, which means you definitely wouldn't pick something
Yeah.
you're fucking allergic to.
This is a condition that you have to pose. No?
Yeah, I'm just making a statement, you know. 99% of non-argumentative devil's advocates would take the cake over that.
Just let that stand. We'll have a poll or something in Inbox chat.
I mean, Twitch chat and all stream chats are pretty good at not being full on polls.
Especially if I'm the one doing the polls and I constantly add joke options. People go for it because they think it's funny.
Oh well, if they're gonna listen to you and me cast, then they might rather just die. You know? That's
yeah.
feasible.
The question is who dies here now in this game going forward.
Oh, this wraparound is huge from the Knicks. He blanked them.
Did they get another gem by now?
I think Geek
Yeah.
doesn't have his anymore, but Yol
Yol
has
has
it
one.
instead. Then I believe the Axe has it. So they both have gems. They're both blind, barring the Knicks. Like, he's a pretty good ward at this point. He's gonna annoy the sniper, I think.
Yeah, and also spot out the fact that he's not with the rest of his team. Actually taking a lot of damage from a combo plus the Sunstrike. No shrine to heal him back up.
Could have killed him though. He ulted him and then mana burned him again.
Yeah.
But he was like definitely worried the rest of his team was coming. I didn't actually think he'd get that close to killing him. I thought he'd just annoy him and force him back to base. But
If you think about it, I mean,
mana burn with Scaddy, sorry, not with Scaddy, the Hurricane fight. Is,
Yeah.
You know, a good amount of damage actually. He's got 80 int, 85 actually. He actually has really high int game. Holy shit, I never knew that. 2.6?
2 points. Oh, holy shit. Gains more int than agility, really? What is this game?
I mean, that's a balance thing, you know, of like, they don't want him to actually have really high agility. But the int thing, I just never thought about. Now we have the meme Axe caster build as well, the int might be relevant.
Just plain in sniper and constant assassinate.
No, you do it with Axe and Radius.
Absolutely.
The int allows you to cast it.
Alright, the fight breaks out, so let's talk about that. Zeke will die to a couple of Dragons. People in the back. Roger is being tracked down by Phobos and Yol. So it looks like Spirit 1 on 2 fronts. They also got the Aegis on a sniper, so it's not as susceptible to these kind of nuke down attempts. So Team Spirit's finally getting some semblance of control back after effects bounced back for quite a while, but now they're the ones who once again are forced to buy back. But at the end of the day, they're still in a strong defensive position. They have a D and Terrorblade, so definitely don't want to go into that. Okay. Sniper caught by the call, shot blow. He's someone down here with a blade mail, but Sador ends up falling. We'll have to buy back. Okay. Third will have none of it. Nice little EMP though, just kind of crippling their ability to fight a little bit until the mana boots come out immediately. He can come right back. He also snags. We haven't talked about this yet, but worst comes to worst, can just throw that one out, and all of a sudden, that can throw out will be limited. Thing is, even if Terrorblade fights back now, it's not gonna have metamorphosis.
Why they're holding the buyback is like, he doesn't necessarily do too much, so if they get into a really bad position, that's when he's gonna buy back. Otherwise, he's gonna hold buyback. They lose 2 sets of racks, they can still play from that. You know, it's so late in the game that the racks are not quite as important as buybacks anymore. At least for the 1 or 2 main core.
Yep.
They're doing a pretty good job of like holding, not dying, so they'll have him come back up. Well, they lose 2 sets of racks, but I don't think it matters as much as having a buyback.
Yep.
They can push out waves really easily. And the demon helps them a lot with that.
Invisibility.
So, how do you like how Phobos is managing to stay relevant? Because sometimes you see Broodmothers, yeah, I mean, Broodmothers more sort of with the old build, I guess, with like the Necrobook and Midas and that stuff. That tends to fall off much better. Yeah, much quicker, I should say.
Yeah, I think this is how you play Brood now. I mean, I think the Solar Crest was a snap buy to...
He finds the signs of a forward. Charger comes in with double core, but Stampede helping out, dodging so much of the damage. And now it's Team Effective. Put the tail on the legs. Run the hell away.
Yeah, but at least it's fine there.
For Ninja, he should be fine.
Oh, maybe Roger can steal it. I think he knows it's drop your dust and go with your vendetta. 10 seconds. Oh no, the courier's got it.
Doesn't have vision on the courier. Thinks it took 3.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
He's trying to cut the road. The Axe at least has buybacks, so he'll probably pop that when they go to the base.
Yeah.
He's a hero that they can't afford to wait on. He's an initiator. He needs to be there if the chance shows itself. He can't give them the clue that, oh, okay, he bought back.
Coming through, Roger finds Yol back, or who finds who? Yol is another gem carrier. So Roger will be another casualty. It's as easy as that. It was way too far away from the rest of the team if they wanted to engage outside their own base, which is a bad idea to begin with. That's another control factor. That's, no buyback. 60 seconds down for the count.
They know that as well. It's fought back
so how do I stop this right now? I mean, Team Spirit, they can just sit on the low ground and blink away this tower. Or just go straight in. Sure, with the double stomp, he's creating space. Sador with a BKB in the front line, so it's chasing them away, and they might give up BCs. Even the cheese just to buy more time for the rest of his team to come back in as Sador comes back. Cast out Invoker, but Iceberg actually needs to be in position to right-click things, but they're right-clicking in, that's not exactly where you are, and the call will miss, but it's not fast enough to run away, so instead.
Time to go down mid and force buybacks, boys. That was way too much from the center.
Yeah.
I think he just needed to sit like here, EVOS, at the tower. Gel.
Yes, I mean, he can be the one to give the vision for the sniper to do damage, just extra damage of his own, or will gain more kills, whatever.
MJ, who cares? Not even girl status anymore, no one cares about him.
But yeah, I mean,
now they get all the waves out, they're gonna have Axe TT in 10, so they can go down whichever lane they prefer. The only thing they're really missing... Actually, they're missing jack shit. BKB is up.
Metamorphosis, I guess. But yeah, it's still
yeah,
damn
okay, sorry. That's what they're missing. And the actual ultimate of the hero.
Yeah.
But they'll go high ground, force buybacks at the range tracks a few times maybe, and then back off out to the room and wait for a better chance. Or he's walked up after buying back and he's about to die.
Alright, they're trying the best throw and they're really good at it. Without the sniper with the damage.
Bruce is okay, I suppose, but
Dude also gets killed with one fall. Unless they yeah. Pops the BKB, that turns around. Assassin dodging the wheels. Still alive.
I just need to hit build him.
Big opportunity for them to just create a lot of space and fake them. Chacho gets a blink call. On the center though, he's still quite tanky. Roger ends up falling finally. Go with the buyback. Wants to dodge, send something, projector-based gaming, stunned up with a nice little multicast. Sniper was here, would have been striking down with or without that Crimson Guard, but instead just forced him forward to use Thunder. Gonna be able to make the creep them down. Still, 45 seconds, but feels like an eternity for a Sniper to come back. Still was trying his best here to clean up the backlines. Now, I think multicast again on Terrible. He doesn't have a Thunder for 40 seconds, but instead he forced that out. Tries to do third DK forwards, and I guess holding for now. Maybe they can do that again. That DKB will end now. DK forwards will blink forward into silence, but no real follow-up. Thanks for the tornado from Alpha Ninja. So, the rest of the game will be clean.
So easy when you have this tornado talent. I think I spoke about this a while ago, but I have no clue why they buffed this. People thought AoE Deafening Blast was nice, they kind of got used to playing with it because of how it used to interact with the orbs, but now it's a talent, it's like, I think people just took it by default. And don't get me wrong, it's really good if you like have a refresher and you're blinking into the fights and creating a lot of chaos, but in this kind of game, Tornado being on an 8-second cooldown or whatever is just insane. Like, you push out waves so quickly, you can get 2-3 combos off the fight. So that's a 9-second cooldown. Yeah. My bad. But the value from that is absolutely absurd. And now it's anyone's game.
Yes.
Dies, no buyback.
Look at the net worth.
Cedoid has buyback though, so might not be anyone's game. Effect actually have buyback for both their cores.
Yeah.
Whereas Spirit do not. And they're gonna catch here, but I mean, who really cares, you know? He's actually not even gonna die.
No, he's gonna die.
Oh, it's Stampede, okay. It was close.
Let's play there, just staying right on top of the Stampede to get that instant damage to it. Make sure they can't blink or do any shenanigans. Now maybe you can get something else. Doi actually caught by. Can they get the fallout? There it is. Stop. Damage here, but disruption comes out. Turn this thing around with the BKB. Thunder onto you also. Doi back up to full health to take down the Rubik. Doi Chacho with the BKB is about to run out. And the root even coming through, but they will find FNG. Iceberg quite compromised position as well. Gets stunned up by Roger, and he still doesn't have no buyback available for 3 minutes. Is this it?
Yeah, that's game.
GG. Effects. They come back.
I mean,
catch the game that has been thrown as bird, I guess you say.
Yes, they kind of screwed, but
yeah, don't get
made so
absolutely.
many plays. Like, he is the entire reason they're even in this game. He made so much space, and then in the team fights at the end, where like he found the sniper when he brought back. Yes, you technically shouldn't go defend like that against a Nyx, but there's a lot of stuff going through their minds. It's